Hello YouTube, I am back and I'm going to tell you how my first appointment was. So the day before, as I mentioned in the video, I was very nervous and felt terrified and was just scared. And that night when I was at the gym, I was just pumping I was pumping at everything I did in the gym. I was just pumping. It's like I never trained like that before, but I have trained hard, but that was another kind of strength I didn't know I had in me. But well, yeah. So the day came and I had trouble sleeping that night, but I did sleep, and I woke up pretty early. So I just felt like, no, I can't stay in bed now that I know that I'm going up in like a few hours. So I went up and just was looking at my TV, and I was just like, okay, I can play some games. So I played some games, and then my friend texted me, and she thought that she had woke me up, but she didn't. And then my brother called, and yeah. And then slowly time was getting near and near. And then my best friend, she came over with the car, and then we were heading to where the appointment was. And that did take a few hours too. I think it was like kind of 2 hours or something like that. But yeah, when we came to the city where my appointment was, and where the building I was going to, we was like, oh shit, this building or that hospital looked like you were in like Grey's Anatomy, like that big, because our city are pretty small, and so that was a kind of big thing. Well, yeah, and then we got to the reception, but it was closed because they had lunch, so we got to wait a bit, and then when they were back, yeah, we were going to the reception, everything went fine, and then we sat down in the waiting room, and then the secretary in the reception came out and said, is it you? And I was like, yeah, that's me. And she was like, did you get the text about this meeting today? And I was like, shit, what the fuck is happening now? What the fuck is happening? And I was like, ooh, and that scared moment of just like, am I going to wait a little bit longer? Have we missed that I got a new time for this appointment? Or what is going on? So she freaking scared me before we even met the doctor, and I was like, didn't feel good about it then. And then she was like, and then I answered her. I'm like, no, I didn't get the message to my phone. And she was like, yeah, well then we have the wrong number to you. And I was like, okay. So I got to go with her, and so they could get my number, because they obviously didn't have my number. And I was like, okay, that was pretty weird. Okay. Well, then they got my number, and I got a paper that I filled in, because there was, yeah, and that's a paper everybody needs to fill in when they're going to do this. And then we were waited, and then there was a dude. He came out from a room, and he was like, hi, are you? And I was like, yeah, I am. And then we got into this very small room, and the air condition was not good. It was not good. Well, anyway. And then he was like, tell me. And I was like, I was thinking this then, what the fuck do you want me to tell you? That's a question I'm like, was like, what? And he and he started like this. He's like, okay, well, they send us this, and it didn't say very much. It just said that you wanted to change gender, and it didn't say so much more than that. Okay, so then I was like, okay, so he wants to know how I he wanted to know more about how I came to that understanding that I wanted to change gender. So I started to telling him about that, and then he had a paper that he was looking at, and looked at me, and he asked me questions, and I told him stuff, and in between that he asked me a bit of questions, and my friend also was answering the questions, kind of, because I mean, she has known me for so many years that she had something to say that I think contributed to this to go well. But anyway, a moment in there, when he asked a question, I was like, what the fuck is he asking me that? That was like the dumbest question I've ever heard. And I was like, I feel like rage in my head, and I was like, But then I answered, and my friend also helped me answer, and I felt like I got grilled by this question, and he was like just staring at me all the time, and he stared at her and stared at me, and it was like, whoa. So I felt very grilled about this question. I was like, but well, then after a while, when he had asked me questions, he was like, okay, I'm letting it go, and he asked me a question that he needed to ask me, and then it was done, and then me and my friend went out of there, and she broke down crying, and I was like, what, why are you crying? And she was like, it just felt so good that you're on your way now, and I have seen you all these years. I've seen the pain that you have been through, and I have seen when you have been at my place at parties or anything, I have seen how bad you have been feeling. I've just seen everything about that, and it feels like a relief that you are finally on the right way to feel good and to live a good life finally. And then I broke down too, because she broke down and I broke down, and it was like a moment, and it was nice, and it was good that she actually asked me if she could go with me, because I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that maybe if I had gone alone, it had been hard, and it had felt not good. But so that was like a relief, but I feel like this afterwards that I don't think I have processed this yet, because it was kind of an emotional day, and it hasn't come to me yet. I can feel it slowly coming to me, but it feels good like that I'm on my way, but I'm still processing all the feelings of that day and how it felt and what he said and what I said, and like everything that happened that day, I'm still thinking about it and processing everything. So, well, there are not much more than I can say about that. But of course, it was like I could take a step back and relax a bit more now that I know that this is going to happen this year, and I just felt like, okay, I'm on my way, and the next appointment are going to be when it comes, and it's like, yeah, finally. But still, I know that this is going to be a roller coaster anyway, because it's a lot of emotions involved in this. So I think that's the only thing I have to say about this now. And well, yeah, if there are any questions or anything, just write to me. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. So I don't know, this video may not be so long, but I don't have so many things to say about this. That's just it. Well then, you are going to have a great day and a great weekend and everything, and yeah, then we say so. Bye bye.